Jake and Chelle custom ordered a fancy new toy hauler only to find out it was defective from the factory.
We were sold something that doesn't work.
Welcome to the channel. I'm Liz. I get people the help they need when they're stuck in an RV nightmare. That help has included factory repairs, cash settlements, extended warranties, and a boatload of buybacks. None of this could have happened without you liking, subscribing, and sharing, making this channel the force that it is. Today, Jake and Chelle share how their dreams of RV travel and adventure turned to dust after they found they could no longer trust their brand new fifth wheel. And I'll have the manufacturer's response later in the video.
It's a 2025 Alliance Valor 36V11 that we custom ordered in early March of 2025, and we took delivery in on June 20th of 2025. We paid $170,000 to RV Country in Mount Vernon, Washington for the trailer with all the modifications. We did a lot of research and we went with Alliance because of what we heard about their service, their slogan of doing the right thing.
I was really excited when we got it because I love trailers. The kitchen was large also, which made it nice to be able to cook and move around. We're able to set up the kitchen island to have kind of like a little table. I enjoyed the homey part of it. That's what I was excited about, was to go camping and still feel like I was at home.
We did have a third-party RV inspector go through it, but unfortunately the problems as they started to come up are things that started to pop up as you actually used the trailer. Our first trip, we put a back ramp down and went to swing open the slider doors. Right as I swung open the driver's side door, the whole thing just fell right out of the tracks, hit me on the shoulder, and slid all the way down the ramp, scuffed up the ramp really bad, dented the frame on the slider. Thank God it wasn't Chelle or our daughter. I mean, the thing probably weighed 60, 70 pounds. Not exactly what you expect when you swing open the door for the first time.
With it falling on him, I'm glad it went the way it did. If it had gone worse, I mean, I could have lost my husband with glass. It also made it more nervous for me to feel comfortable to open the doors by myself without him being there, because he can't be there all the time. We weren't able to use the door for a while as well because when it fell off the track, the slider that it was connected, it was put in wrong. Majority of the time, we weren't even able to use our patio without the doors being completely open.
Our second trip, with both doors off, we went to Glacier National Park. This was actually kind of our main real trip. We went to put the bedroom slide out and we had sparks pop through the panel. Stopped and called a remote tech. Thank God there was somebody there. They came out. We were only there for 3 days, meeting some friends. It was just trying to get a trip in. Over 2 of the days were caught up with this. It ruined the whole trip for us. That was actually the last real trip we took. What they found was the cables under the slide were not routed properly through the pulleys. They were just basically put over the piece of steel in there, to where as it went in and out 5 or 6 times, it had a wire fray, and then that caught some type of a wire back under the bed. They had to pull the whole thing out. Just a disaster. Then in the back, we had some friends and we wanted to hang out in the back part of the trailer where you can't have the patio down and AC on because you don't have your patio doors. Pretty hot that time of year. And so it really was just really frustrating. Every time we've used this thing, something has come up.
Well, especially with going to Glacier Park, I'd never been before. I didn't go off with our friends. I stayed with Jake because he was back with the technician guy. Our friends had left to go do things. They went on bike rides, they went swimming. I just didn't feel it was fair to go and have fun without Jake when he's having to deal with the trailers. It bummed us out because we missed out on things, and then the day we did get to go out, it was really enjoyable, but we were still stressing about the trailer, stressing about the electric. Not a relaxing vacation, it was more stress. We bought this trailer to be able to be more relaxed and have a place of zen and peace away from the everyday life.
Fortunately, we had a really good mobile tech in Montana. He went above and beyond and actually was able to source the right cable, and he replaced the whole thing, spent a lot of time, but he actually got it done properly. On our trip back, it's not charging properly when you plug in. That's when we start noticing more and more of the electrical issues. When we got back, you put it into storage and it's tripping a breaker every day, every other day, and it's not keeping things charged. Initially, I thought that might be the wrong cord or plug or the outlet. I looked through all those things. It's the same storage place we've used before, really new construction. Basically, I'm having to go down there every other day, which is really annoying to have to drive down and make sure I charge it. It's getting so bad, I'm actually having to run the generator. We used our generator about an hour and a half for actual camping, and there's almost 60 hours on it because of how much I've had to run it while in storage to keep the batteries charged. To have to do the first oil change on a generator for that quality of a rig was really irritating. There's a Victron technician in the area, kind of the top rated gentleman. I reached out. He came out and did an inspection after Alliance had approved it. And he came away saying, hey, they're using incompatible components. The Victron Multi Plus, the big blue box they put everything in, was just put in without being programmed. Rather than using the proper screws, they used sheet metal screws and just kind of torqued it in there to where it ruined the threads. There's just so many things wrong. Then I start getting high voltage alarms, overload alarms. As he looks in, he can kind of get that alarm history. And that's when we saw like, hey, this started like day 3 after we bought this thing. And really, it's just been ongoing since. We're 177 days in on this with no resolution.
If watching these videos makes you afraid to buy an RV, I totally get it. As so many people on this channel comment, it seems like all RVs are junk. The truth is, there actually are happy RVers out there enjoying the freedom and adventure of RV life. So I started gathering info by looking at the RV nightmares in my email inbox and surveying my audience of over 200,000 people. I asked which RVs you can trust and which RVs you should run away from. I put the results in my RV buyer's guide. This guide covers over 200 brands broken down by years and models. It's available in both print and digital formats. The print format is great in that you can make notes and you can take it with you. The digital format is searchable and clickable, so it's perfect for online research. And the digital format is on sale for a limited time only for 30% off, or you can get both the print and digital format as a bundle. Click the links below to learn more.
I contacted Bill, the VP of customer service at Alliance. They authorized the factory to actually come out to us, thinking, hey, we're going to have one of their top techs come out on site for a couple of days. We're going to look through this. He spent 2.5 days out there with me. Couldn't figure it out. As he's going to pull out of that, I try to put the slide in. A, the slide's not going in. And B, it's setting off high voltage alarms while it's trying to go in. He parks his car, walks back in, and he's like, I don't know, man. At that point, they authorized the Victron gentleman to try to do some other things. He ended up having to disconnect all of the factory communication from the batteries and reconfigure things. And that's kind of where it left. It never solved the shorting out every couple of days. I'm still dealing with that. Was out there this morning. The thing that makes me so nervous is by losing visibility with all these high voltage alarms going off. I mean, I don't want my daughter or my wife to a lithium battery, right? That's a lot of power, 800 amp hours, knowing that it's having these type of voltage issues. It's kind of like if your house is filling up with smoke and the alarm's going off a lot and you pull out the battery and then say, hey, the problem's solved. By removing the communications, we just can't see any of the alarms. We're still having all the same symptoms where it's tripping every couple days. We just can't see it anymore. After the Victron tech had had it for another 15 or 18 days, and he said, hey, this is the first one I've ever not been able to source the problem. But they haven't been able to figure it out. Initially, the offer was that they would extend the warranty and that they would do a $10,000 offer, which I declined. You can't tell us why there's an electrical short. You can't figure it out. You've had 170 plus days. We don't feel safe. It's not been able to be used for 5.5 months. They then raised the offer to 20,000, but then we would be responsible for hiring someone to fix the electrical, and they're off the hook on it. Or the $10,000 offer, they bring it back to the factory and try to dig into it again. I didn't feel comfortable with that because they already brought the factory to me. They had access to every bit of data that they would at the actual factory, and quite frankly, I didn't want more wear and tear on the trailer. I didn't trust it at that point. We've been patient for 7 months. We've used it 4 times. 3 times in the first couple months and one other overnight trip that we tried. And the most recent one that really, frankly pisses me off is with us doing the more ride suspension, also the hydraulic disc brakes. This is a 19,000-pound gross vehicle weight trailer. It is not small. The technician that was looking at the electrical and the batteries found that that electric over hydraulic actuator, that metal box, there's a hard hydraulic line coming in. They left that loose. It had never been bolted down. It's bouncing around in there. If that line breaks, now I'm going down the road with no brakes. And I reached out, Bill and another gentleman in there, and I haven't even gotten a response, not even a follow-up. I sent them a video showing them, and that's really where I'm just done with it. I don't feel safe, and I know my wife doesn't feel safe.
When we bought this one, and to not be able to use it very often, thinking of all these different trips and adventures we were going to go on, only owning it for a few days and all these problems came up, it was like a false hope. It was taking away memories that we could have made as a family. We lost our whole summer. To watch the stress of what it was doing for my husband was stressful for me. To see him have to go to the trailer every day, start the generator every day. He would wake up and the first thing in the morning he's like, oh, gotta go check the trailer. It made it not very hopeful for the next adventure we're gonna do. If we end up without it and get a new trailer, it even gives false hope for that, because this was custom made. We put time and effort to make it safe for us, and then to come find out it's not safe. A company like Alliance comes across as caring and wanting to take care of their people and like a family orientated company. Safety is number one. If one of our lives were lost because of a fire, you can't replace a life. And it took away the funness out of thinking of, hey, let's go on an adventure, but let's hope the electrical stays intact at the same time.
It has been sitting there with the exception of one overnight trip in October since August 21st. It has not moved other than to the technician's shop. After 2.5 weeks of him trying to isolate why this short was taking place, he was unable to isolate it. I guess at what point does that responsibility flip back to the people that designed it? With Alliance, I felt like I'd been very patient with them for months and months. I never yelled at anybody, because it's not that person's fault. When I was talking to Bill, walking through this, and then it was pretty much like, well, here you go, take it or leave it. Kind of the impression I got was, we're going to do the right thing if it's easy. Doing the right thing is about doing the right thing when it's hard, when it's not easy. I made myself available anytime they needed any information, whether that was going down to the trailer and turning on a Wi-Fi so that they could remote access to look at logs and things like that. Every single thing they've asked, I've done. At the conclusion, it hasn't been able to be fixed. And that should not be my responsibility. They're not taking ownership. It's been with service techs for I think about 30 to 40 days minimum during that period of time. And Alliance, once it got to the point where they would have to do something major like purchase it back, it's a brush off, and then I get a $10,000 offer or a $20,000 offer to go away. That's not good. We were sold something that doesn't work, and they've had 6-7 months to try to make it work. They've not been able to figure it out. At this point, we want a full buyback. I really want Alliance to actually back up their slogan and do the right thing.
I contacted the top people at Alliance and I got back an interesting response. You should know that I have done several Alliance cases, and in each one they have sprung into action, including sending out service techs, factory repairs, and even a buyback. But today's response is different. We are not aware of any condition that would render the unit unusable. During the ordering process, the customer elected to move forward with a custom solar configuration that differs from our standard factory offering. He also says the 15 amp outlet and the fact that storage is undercover is affecting battery performance. Well, this response infuriated Jake, who points out that he ordered the top solar package directly from Alliance's order sheet. Jake says he has email threads where Alliance is acknowledging the repeated tripping of the breaker and abnormal battery behavior, and that this was being treated as an engineering and diagnostics problem, not a customer expectations issue. And of course, Jake has logs of these high voltage alarms going back almost since day one. Understandably, Jake is even more frustrated now. This kind of behavior is exactly why the RV industry as a whole has earned such a poor reputation. Hopefully Alliance will watch this video and reconsider. Which RV brands do you trust? Let me know in the comments, including years and models. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.